Hi again, and welcome to this week's episode of Chronic Cuppa, bringing back the office brew and a moment's mindfulness to your week. So last week's episode was all about our super strengths, and I talked a little bit about achievement. This week, we are second week into January, and I'm sure a lot of us have got resolutions that maybe we feel we're slipping up on a bit at the moment. So this week's topic is all about failure, or what we think is failure, and our perception of failure as being something negative rather than a positive thing or an opportunity to learn, and actually failure being really a pertinent part of the process to success, because it's how we continue to evolve things and fine-tune and progress. And actually most of our learning opportunities come out of failure rather than actually the times that we do achieve. So this week's mug is part of my failure story, or a little bit of 6 degrees of separation. So it is actually a mug that I got from the St Pancras Renaissance Hotel in London. I first discovered the hotel watching an episode of George Clarke's Amazing Spaces, or one of his programs that was on at the time, all around architecture. And yeah, I was a very big fan of George Clarke's Amazing Spaces, inspired to actually buy a double-decker bus a few years ago. I no longer have the bus. I had visions for it, of turning it into a really cool project. I'd seen other people on the show doing it, and after a few years of sort of trying to kind of perfect or do up this bus, eventually I sort of admitted defeat, and it is no more. But for Christmas, I got actually this very lovely keepsake from my dad, who helped me with the renovation of the bus at the time. So this is actually a stool or a seat, I don't know how well you can see, that we upholstered together. It was one of my original bus seats, which he's now turned into a stool for me. So that was a lovely Christmas gift and a souvenir out of that project. So upon getting my Christmas gift as well, because I wanted to look back fondly at the project and not just think of it as all of these things that I hadn't achieved and that I hadn't managed to make my vision for this bus become reality. So I wanted to really be able to look back on it more fondly, more positively, and say, well, what did I learn from this experience? So a few things that came out of it for me. I would say it was a very valuable learning opportunity to think about mindset and the importance of mindset as a skill, just like any other skill, whether it's labouring, copywriting, digital marketing. Mindset is a skill, and growth mindset is a skill, and it's something that we can all learn. But it very much is something that, not everybody has, and I think at the time I definitely didn't have it. I perhaps surrounded myself with a few people who, being quite cautious, sort of perhaps, again, that made it a little bit more challenging at times on the project, and it certainly made me question myself quite a lot. So I think if you're embarking on any kind of project, or just day-to-day in life, it's really taught me about the importance of self-belief, because there will always be people that have different opinions to you. There will always be people thinking about problems, not solutions. And it's quite easy, if you're lacking self-belief, to sort of let some of that louder noise drown you out or cast doubt. So that was a very big learning for me. I would say another big learning was also the fact that, actually quite a lot of people really do like getting stuck into interesting different projects, or certainly hearing about them or being part of them. I think if I had my time again, I would have actually been more open about what I was doing. I would have asked for help more. In the time that I was working on the project, I got the opportunity to make some new friends and build some connections, thinking about how I was going to move this bus, where I was going to store it and renovate it. So people are always really interested in those kinds of projects. So when it's weird and wacky, sometimes, you can be quite protective, you can be secretive about your baby or your pet project, or worried that people might steal your ideas, but actually it's good to just talk to as many people as you can about it, because there are people out there that are willing to help you, and I might have got a bit further if I'd have perhaps been a little bit more transparent about what I was doing and what I was hoping to achieve. And then the third and final thing is that actually the importance of a project and a project's purpose. And I think for me, I was able to remember that whilst I didn't achieve ultimately my goal or my end result, my project still had a purpose, because it got me through a time where I was feeling very uninspired, I was struggling, I didn't have much going on, and it gave me a reason to get up in the morning, and it gave me something to be excited about and something to put my creative energy into. And then that helped my creativity as well when I started getting involved in other different projects. So every project has a purpose, even if it's not the one that you think. So this week I invite you to think about a time, whether it is a resolution or something else, where you feel maybe you've stumbled, you've not achieved what you wanted, or worst case scenario, you feel that you have failed. And actually think about not so much what you failed on, but actually what did you learn as part of that process, and what opportunity did that give you to learn, and what would you do differently next time. So please start remembering, and I'm the biggest culprit for this, that there is nothing wrong with failure. Failure is a really good, really important thing, and we should all aim to do more of it. So join me next time for another Chronic Cuppa. But in the meantime, let's sink another drink, because it'll give me time to think. See you later.